guy, Cam Newton, who led the Tigers to a national title in his Heisman year. The retirement ceremony is set to take place October 11th. So deserving. Couldn't be happier for him. Stephen A., what'd you think of the announcement?
Well, first of all, I'm incredibly happy for him. It's as far as I'm concerned, it's long overdue. It's well deserved. The man won the Heisman. He won the national championship. They went undefeated. He won the Maxwell Award, the Heisman Trophy, the Walter Camp Player of the Year Award. He was absolutely sensational. And so what he did for the Auburn Tigers, you just can't say enough. So he deserves it. And I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but, you know, everybody can look forward to, you know, First Take. We've had the pleasure of working with him last season. He will be back this year, this season with us as well. So I'm looking forward to him, just like I look forward to you guys. And you know, just I want to take a moment to thank him for what he's done for this show. And while I'm doing that, I want to thank Doggy. I want to thank Louis Riddick. I want to thank RC and everybody who contributes to First Take, because no matter what, at a moment like this when we have an opportunity, Cam is one of us now. And, you know, he's a contributor to the show, but with the great things all of y'all are doing, I just want everybody to know from the bottom of my heart, I thank y'all, because First Take wouldn't be First Take without all of y'all. You, Doggy, you, Louis, you, obviously, RC, of course, you, Molly, and of course, Cam, and everybody else who contributes to this show. So on behalf of the entire show, we want to say congratulations to Cam, He's family, and congratulations. It's well-deserved, my brother. It's well-deserved.
I don't think people actually have the correct context on how good Cam Newton was at Auburn and what it took for him to get there, to start at Florida, to have some of the adversity that he had there, to have to go to junior college. And in the 1 year at Auburn University, he absolutely changed who that team was. This is a dude that was trailing in the Iron Bowl to Alabama and brought them all the way back. This wasn't a team laced with a ton of first-round draft picks. And so for Cam Newton to go to Auburn and to be there and change the total trajectory of what that team was going to be that season, they absolutely should retire his number. No one should ever get to wear number 2. And that statue outside of that stadium at Jordan-Hare belongs there forever because he was that special.
Yeah, I mean, look, I remember seeing him for the first time. The first time I saw him in person was at the Super Bowl, and they were playing against Denver. And I remember going up and sitting there and going, wait a minute, quarterback. One of the best-looking athletes I've ever laid eyes on, ever. And then got to talk to him in a production meeting when he was quarterbacking the New England Patriots for Monday Night Football. Knew more about me than I ever thought he would. Very gracious, very humble, very open about his journey. Look, you just root for people like that who you wind up building a personal connection with. And Steve, awesome. Hey, you're right, man. You brought some great people on this show that have really kind of elevated this show in terms of their experiences and what they're able to bring to these debates. And Cam is one of those dudes.
Thank God, because I had Auburn in that game at Alabama, the game that Ryan was referring to, and they covered.
Oh, there we go.
Leave it to Doggy. Leave it to Doggy.
We had this great moment, Doggy. Everybody said, I love it. Doggy go to bed.
Have come back.
I know. On brand. Right. We're lucky to call Cam a teammate and can't wait to have him back. Let's keep it rolling, guys. We won't get our first in-game glimpse of Aaron Rodgers as the Pittsburgh Steelers starting quarterback until Week 1. Head coach Mike Tomlin told media Tuesday that Rodgers will sit out the preseason finale against the Carolina Panthers, along with wide receiver DK Metcalf, who also hasn't played this preseason. Veterans TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, who participated in team drills Tuesday amid his contract dispute, also won't play Thursday. S.A., do you feel like this is the right decision for Aaron not to play in the preseason for your Steelers?
I don't, and far be it for me to question him or Mike T, because we know how I feel about both of them. It's just that, you know, over the last few years, obviously he hasn't looked like the multiple-time league MVP that he is. I mean, the last couple of years in Green Bay, of course, his first year with the New York Jets ended in 4 plays. Last year, 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, under 4,000 yards, even though it wasn't as awful as people try to proclaim it to be. The QBR wasn't that impressive, and he obviously had better seasons. My thing, RC, Lewis, and Doggy, is that you're going to a new team with new weapons. You know, you're not accustomed to throwing that football to DK Metcalf in game-time situations, nor Freiermuth for that matter, nor Jonnu Smith for that matter. And so I'm looking at it, or Calvin Austin, or whomever else that you may have there. The fact that it's a new situation, I'd like to see him in some game situations cultivating and developing a level of familiarity with these guys as opposed to trying to figure it out when the games really, really count. You're going to have to do that anyway, and I understand that. But I just think that I would like to have seen him in the preseason getting in some reps, if at all possible. I understand the thinking. He is 41 years of age after all. I'm just of the mindset that, new team, new system, new personnel. It would be nice to see him out there getting some reps. That's just me.
Lewis?
Yeah, look, this is a risk-reward scenario. And obviously, Mike has said, hey, look, the risk far outweighs the reward. I mean, what's he going to play in a preseason game? Maybe a series, maybe two. I mean, at the very most, you'd probably put him in there one. So what's the average series probably going to last? Somewhere between 4 to maybe 8 plays if you're lucky. What's the benefit of that? Are we going to really see something that we haven't seen so far during minicamp, during the training camp? We probably repped every possible scenario that he's going to face week 1 that we possibly can in a controlled environment. I'm going to bank on the fact that this guy is a multiple-time MVP who has really immersed himself into this system, into this new system that Arthur's trying to run. He's been working with DK starting in the offseason, and we're going to hope that, we're going to rely on that intel that we've gathered in those controlled situations and not put him at risk for 9 plays simply because he would put on the game uniform, run out there in a game situation, and maybe potentially put him at harm's way for, with somebody who's trying to make a football team and takes a shot at him. And next thing you know, we are set back to where we were in the beginning of this offseason when we didn't have him. I'm not going to risk it. I think that's maybe where Mike's mind's at. But we all like to see him play, of course. I'd like to see everybody play in the preseason because I love to see the dudes play. Patrick plays, right? Yeah. Patrick Mahomes is the standard. He plays all the time. Andy Reid throws him right out there. But in this situation, it doesn't bother me at all.
Dog?
Yeah, I can't kill him either. I'm with Lewis on that. 2 years ago, he played a series against the Giants. He scored a touchdown, and then the 4th play of the year, he had the Achilles, gone for the year. Last year, he didn't play at all in preseason, and the Jets won 2 of their first 3. They lost to San Francisco, beat Tennessee and New England. Played pretty well. Plus, Pittsburgh plays the Jets first game of the year. Maybe they feel there's a little element of surprise with Rodgers, how he's going to play. Jets have things to think about if they see some stuff on tape. Maybe that changes it. So overall, listen, he is a Hall of Fame quarterback. This is probably a Hall of Fame coach. It's Carolina. Can I go crazy? I got to leave it alone. I got to trust the organization. I'm with Lewis.
The sentiment you made, though, is interesting about not having film on him, having him play in the preseason. But, RC, I want to come to you. With Rodgers not expected to play in the preseason, do you have any concern for your Steelers getting off to a slow start?
Yeah, my level of concern is 10 out of 10.
Really?
And it's not necessarily that I'm expecting them to get off to a slow start. It's the fact that this team can't get off to a slow start. If you've watched Mike Tomlin teams throughout the last few years, they normally start fast. It's that they tail off toward the end of the season. You have some very winnable games early on in this season, and there's going to be a different level of attention paid to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, we know through their championship